All right, you want to mute our mics so that we don't hear ourselves? I just want to make sure. Blake, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's recording? Okay. Okay. Go ahead and mute me up, please.
Buddy, this is your f***ing wake-up call, man. I am an FBI agent.
I know, man. Isn't it wild?
But you know, that's what makes it great, Johnny. We can exist on a different plane. We can make our own rules. Why be a servant to the law when you can be its master? Hey, I love this job.
Alright. I never listen. I'm gonna listen. I wanna listen to the drums.
Yes, I love this job as well. Flea, or whoever that was.
Well, it's not Flea.
Flea is not in Point Break, is he?
No, Anthony Kiedis is.
And if you're watching us, this is our free video for the week. It's also audio, so you don't have to watch, but we post it on YouTube. You might notice that Jake is in the Dragon Den. He is here. He has not been here for 4 days. But you would also notice Blake is not here, as somehow Jake infected Blake through the 5G network.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? The one guy here who is vaccinated has not been sick.
Interesting.
Huh.
I'm just actually happy he's sick because it makes me look like I wasn't faking it.
Blake is in his gaming room, though.
Like somebody else being sick. Yeah, I know. You were very taken with that.
You want to show us around your gaming room? It's pretty small.
But kind of looking at it.
There's a lot there.
I
like his map. Can you show your map?
Let's see.
It's not well lit. He's got a map up there, and there are little pins.
Is it a Verdansk?
It's a map of the United States. Explain your pin system. He has a bunch of little pins in different places on the map. You can't see it. It's very, you need Jake's light.
Very dark. Very dark.
Now we've lost Blake.
So the pins are... Here, let me plug this back in. I got a red pin. If it's a red pin, that is a city that I've done an Argyle game in. If it's green, it's a city I've done a North Texas game. Purple, TCU. I just have a different pin in cities I've been to.
All over the United States. In fact, there's one in the Bahamas.
Yeah, I did a bowl game in the Bahamas.
All right.
That's pretty cool. I have one of all the places I've been in the world. But the United States is still pretty cool.
Where have you been? How many different nations, countries? Oh, we lost Blake now, totally.
I should know that, shouldn't I? Do you want me to try to list them?
There we are.
There we are.
Yeah. Alphabetically.
I can't do alphabetically, but I think I could probably do them in temporal order. So,
what's that mean?
Chronologically.
Okay.
I think it's a kind of shrimp.
Tempura, yeah.
Order, yeah. Mexico, Canada, Costa Rica, Belize.
Do Mexico and Canada count for going to a foreign country?
Probably not, no. If you're in the NAFTA agreement.
Mexico, kind
of. Belize, Costa Rica.
Mexico's like time traveling 20 years ago.
That's weird. Chile.
Look at how he pronounces it.
I'm trying to think of those.
So distinguished.
In that part of the world.
Man, you're a hairy guy. Look at that leg.
The Czech Republic, Germany, Spain, Portugal, Morocco.
Should it count as going to different countries if you're over there? Because that's like just going to another state. You just move over. It's like driving across
then
Ohio.
What did you want? What was the point of this exercise then?
I don't know.
Thailand.
Why do they call themselves all different countries?
Hong Kong, which is kind of China. That's what I call it, kind of China.
What do you do in Hong Kong?
It's amazing, dude.
How so?
I just loved everything about it. Like I loved the way that it's beautiful. First of all, it's right on the water. Food was incredible. It's probably my favorite place I've ever been.
Okay. Well, you didn't sell it. You just said it's near water and they have food. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
Let's
just
go to Bachman Lake.
Yeah, but it's like
Get a
like
pizza.
okay. Let me put it to you like this: it's like if New York was just extremely clean,
Okay.
and everything works super well, transit wise. I don't know. I loved it, loved it there. Am I missing any?
So is Hong Kong ruled by an iron fist? Is that like Singapore?
No. I think
Okay.
it's really more of just like an independent.
But people will say, "Hey, Singapore, really clean. It's great."
Yes,
Because if you throw a piece of gum on the ground, you will
they'll
be
get lashes.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's all of them. I can't recall any others that come to mind. But no, that's probably the same as calling a game at Corinth.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I have. That was like Dallas.
Mascot?
Falcons.
Of course.
Of course,
Yeah.
the Falcons. So I spent this morning doing some things for you, and it didn't pay off. You could see over in the corner. Now, this is just
we
for
have
you
had
to look
a
at.
very rough morning on your front.
For you to look at over there, I've got the light working and everything. And
Oh,
I had,
Iceland.
yeah, that's the last.
Yeah, there were wieners on or the Wiener Museum.
That's right.
Yeah.
I went to the Penis Museum in Iceland. The world's only.
You
to
see,
my
I have
knowledge.
the light working in the Jeff Goldblum photo or framed picture that somebody sent me with Goldblum. And I can give you this. So I took
Okay.
a picture of it, but it's not the same as Goldblum Cam. I wanted everybody to be able to live check in with Goldblum.
Right. Like it had replaced Baker Cam.
As the show went on. Yeah. And then, as you know, we were getting a giant echo. And
It wasn't really we.
well, we are a show, are we not?
It was more. Like I said, I don't even want to walk us through
I couldn't fix it.
the last 45
Blake's
minutes.
not here. That's why. He's the technical guy.
I don't think that's why.
He makes everything perfect. But look at that, man.
It's very cool.
You know, just holding that dinosaur like it's his own baby.
It's very cool.
So we really appreciate that being sent to us right here at the Den, high atop my garage, where we record live to tape at least 5 days a week. We've just gone to 5, and we haven't even said anything.
Yeah.
We haven't patted ourselves on the back or front.
We should.
Yeah, because when we first started this venture, we thought we'll do 3 and then 1 for free. We guaranteed you 4 a week.
Yeah.
And here we are just throwing in an extra one.
There are people in my family that are like, hey, I thought maybe you were not going to do all 5 days.
Yeah, well.
And then I was like, deal with it, bitch.
When you own your own business, that's a 24/7 job.
Sure.
You are on call all the time.
Sure.
And yeah, she can continue to work for the man and enjoy things like health insurance and
a constant salary.
Guaranteed paycheck.
Yeah.
But we are going to be free. So again, appreciate that. Appreciate the Pro Bowl picture, the Baker Fathead. All the things people are sending us are going to be in our new studio someday. Our studio for now is this room above my garage.
Hey, don't leave out the Sinbad VHSs.
That's
the
true.
Sinbad VHSs
and
is where I am going next because, so as I said, we get something almost every day here. Yesterday in the mail, these 2 things came. Somebody, oddly enough, is sending us Sinbad. Sinbad's book, Sinbad VHSs. Here's another one, I'm guessing. This is called The Cherokee Kid. Apparently, Sinbad
Can't say I'm familiar, but
is in a movie called The Cherokee Kid.
I bet that has an absolutely hilarious plot line.
I'm not going to watch any of these, but we are going to proudly display them in our studio.
But you're going to read the book, right?
I'm absolutely going to read the book.
Okay, good.
And this came in the mail, too. Apparently, Sinbad his career spanned so long. He was not only on VHSs, he also made it to DVD. And look what I have here. This I might watch. A Sinbad comedy special.
I've seen that.
What is that called? Afros and Bell Bottoms. Apparently, these are things that Sinbad is associated with.
Yeah, I can't remember if I said this the other day when we talked about it or not, but I'm telling you, dude, he's got like a good 90 minutes.
I don't deny that. I have fond memories of watching a Sinbad special back in the day. I have not opened this, so I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you, since you're back in the den.
Okay.
This came yesterday as well.
Okay.
This is a giant package. It seems very fluffy. I thought it might be a sweatshirt or something. What do we got in there?
Okay, let's take a look at it here. It is it is a Sinbad blanket.
Oh my God. So you could sleep with Sinbad.
Yeah, it is.
That will hang proudly on the wall somewhere.
Definitely.
It's just such a funny thing again to imagine someone like, I'm just going to send them all the Sinbad merch I can possibly find. This is warm. Feel this.
Now, is that, oh, don't throw it at equipment. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking fleece?
I feel like it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's let the dog see if he enjoys it for today.
Yeah.
And then we'll. Would you rather have these items, or would you rather that money have been donated to our legal defense fund?
That's a good question, but I mean, if it's just going to be a drop in the bucket, wouldn't you prefer the blanket in the DVD?
Because we'd never actually order that Sinbad blanket.
That's right.
Think of all the effort that took. Well, thank you, mystery person.
That's incredible.
So we'll be on the lookout today on my porch for what
was going on outside earlier? You were very concerned about something.
Look at that.
Or should we not?
Oh no, that was so there was a truck outside my house, and on the truck, it was a big truck, looked like an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
And it said thebubblestop.com on the side of it. And I thought, this is another bit somebody is sending to our house. And as I looked at it online, apparently it's for like foam parties. And I thought someone was going to foam us, but apparently they were just driving through the neighborhood. You can hire the bubblestop.com and have them for your birthday or events, or probably great for, Nora's 5th birthday or something like that. And I thought we were going to get slimed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we're on the phone earlier, and he's like, "Dude, I think someone's dropping off some foam or some bubbles." I'm like, "Yeah, I would bet not."
Great.
It's probably just a birthday party. It's Friday.
Yeah.
Suburban neighborhood.
Yeah, so that was failed. But some other stuff I was working on this morning. And let's see, today. I didn't even write down the day. It is Friday.
Your hat is really throwing me off.
Why?
Just the fact that you're wearing a hat.
I'm celebrating the Cleveland Cavaliers championship. This is an official Cavs championship hat.
What do you think about that, Blake?
Because you thought I was not woke enough if I wore my Indians hat.
Why is it glowing?
Is it glowing?
Yeah, there's a weird.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like iridescent.
That just shows you. That's what the king gets, man. I'll change hats if you want.
Oh, I would prefer just no hat.
No hat.
It's just weird for you to just like randomly show up and be a hat guy.
What about no cattle?
Okay.
An all hat.
Okay.
That's you, buddy. What does that mean? Just a big talker?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Except you have it backwards, but that's fine.
Oh. So the other thing I was working on this morning is Blake's slander yesterday. And if you listen to yesterday's program, I think it was a very good one. I thought Landry Locker was great. The hat is hot. You guys don't realize
didn't
how
even really have to talk him out of it.
Much warmer your head is with the hair. So Blake was saying I said Hansel and Gretel funny.
You did.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think of where I got that. And I'm going to show you where I got that. Let's let's see here. It is from a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Okay.
Entitled Bewitched Bunny. And I watched all of these. I used to roll on them on TV, and then I would digitize them, and me and my daughter would watch one or two every night before bed. And so it was like on the Cartoon Network, and you just have to roll and hope you get one and the right, and I collected them. I suppose you could have just bought the DVD set, but I did it this way. And I think this is the pronunciation here. Oh, no, here's the pronunciation right here. Let's see. Sorry.
Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Roasting children.
Call it a weakness.
And pray, what are your names, my poor children?
My name is Gretel.
And my name is Hansel. Hansel? Hansel?
So that's Hansel and Gretel. Now,
Yep.
I think he's probably mispronouncing it, and but that was in my head, and that's why I always say that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I agree with you.
So I just sat and watched the whole 6-minute cartoon this morning, just because I wasn't setting up a Goldblum cam just yet. And we always talk about cartoons being made for us as well, or for the adults. This is like in the 1940s this was made. And it got me also thinking, because I was thinking of, well, listen what the witch says. So the witch is talking.
Notice how I ride side saddle. It proves I'm a lady of quality.
So she was riding a horse, or riding her broom, and she says, "Notice how I ride side saddle." So I got to thinking that yesterday, because across the street from me there's a horse, a couple of horses, and the lady will ride her horse around the thing. And so number one, I was thinking, is it hot riding a horse? Because she's like the pelvic thing goes on when you're on the horse.
Come on, man.
And I'm just saying, watch a lady ride a horse and say that you think that's disgusting. I don't think you can do it.
No, I
You
can't.
can just not have an opinion. That's just a person riding a horse.
That's also an option, Blake.
And then I got to thinking, I was thinking this yesterday while watching.
He just,
wasn't this
plowed
like
right through that one?
Wasn't this like the old days? They would say women had to ride side saddle because if they didn't, they would risk breaking their hymen, and then they would be viewed as, not marriage material. Because wasn't that like an old timey thing? I swear to God, look this up.
Yeah, it'd be too loose.
Yeah, you just didn't want to break a hymen.
What?
Yeah.
Don't act like you're offended by breaking hymen talk. This is our new form.
It was more just when he said too loose.
Well,
That was the stigma, or that's what the thinking was. If it's broken, then
that was it. Had nothing to do with,
because you got to be the one that breaks it.
Yeah.
You're the guy. And if she doesn't bleed on her wedding night, then that's a bad bit. Look it up.
It's probably in the Bible somewhere.
It might be in the Bible.
But I don't know how this relates to horses.
Well, because she just said she wants to ride side saddle.
I don't even know what that means.
It means sitting like this and not
your
like
legs
this.
are on the same side.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't know it. I'm surprised you've never heard of this.
You just think everyone from Texas?
Yeah, you should know about horse. I knew.
Fantastic.
And then I also got to thinking, so as I'm watching this whole thing, this is where the woke mind virus comes in, what we have been infected with, is because, and you think about these things when you're watching them with your young daughter, because they will also just plant social thoughts in your head that are, everybody knows it. So at the end, somehow the witch in a cauldron or something happened, and the witch turns into a hot bunny, like smoking hot. You've seen hot bunnies before, right? So Bugs Bunny is now walking away with this hot bunny, but she's still the witch. Like, it's her voice. it's the witch, just her appearance has changed, but he's still smitten with her, and he's thinking he's going to go do what rabbits do. You know, they procreate.
Hump.
So
Yeah.
So he's walking away with the hot bunny.
Hello? Hello? Going my way?
And he'll look at the camera and say something. She's hot.
Sure, I know. But aren't they all witches inside?
That's phenomenal. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter. You're all going to ruin my life. I might as well just get one that I can.
But that's the societal norm of,
They're all just emotional and terrible.
Yeah, but guys will put up with them because, especially if
she
they're
looks
hot.
a little different now.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Appearance is what matters there. And so now I'm rolling through the videos I had recorded with my kids, and I remembered the one I have told you guys about in the past, but it's about the flea, which is attacking the dog. It's called an itch in time.
Yeah.
And this flea is, okay, so the dog doesn't want to get a bath. Apparently that's like the worst thing that could happen to this dog is to get a bath. Elmer Fudd is the dog's owner, and if he sees the dog scratching, the dog will stop scratching because he doesn't want a bath. But this flea is like making a sandwich out of his skin. He's pouring ketchup on it. He's singing food around the corner.
He's got the napkin on his
yeah.
on his
and then
chest.
he'll bite into him.
Yeah.
Well, eventually, the dog just couldn't take it anymore. And I've told you this before. This is more of the things made for adults. He starts dragging himself with his front legs, just scratching the bottom and, probably his sack and whatnot, his genitalia around the floor. And he's going at 100 miles an hour, like in a figure eight through the, and I got the audio from him doing that.
Hey, I better cut this out. I may get to like it.
He looks at the camera and he's like, So a masturbation joke makes it into Looney Tunes in 1943. And it turns out in 1943, this itch in time, you can't find it. It won't be on the DVD of Looney Tunes. Because this show, An Itch in Time, has been, perhaps not for the masturbation scene, but has been eradicated from culture.
Is there a
World
War II element?
Not a World War II. So at the very end, I'm going to show you the video now.
Okay.
I can pull it up here.
Fantastic.
At the very end, somehow the cat... so somehow the flea turns the tables, as will happen in cartoons, and it turns out that Elmer Fudd and the dog are on a plate, and the flea somehow emerges victorious and is carrying a plate with these two beings on it, and he's going to eat them. He's insinuating that he's going to eat them. And the cat looks at them and can't believe it. Okay? For those just listening, we'll describe it more in a minute, but I want to show you the video and see if you can tell us why was this taken off of mainstream media. Okay?
There'll be no more meatless Tuesdays. No more meatless Tuesdays. No more meatless Tuesdays for me. There'll be no more meatless Tuesdays.
Now I've seen everything.
Appeared that what happened there was that the cat was so taken aback by this occurrence that he blew his head off with a revolver.
Pulls out a giant gun, sticks it right to his temple, and commits suicide at the end because this is so out of the ordinary.
But why would that be so unsettling to the cat that he has to kill himself?
Just because he thought he'd seen it all, and
now that's the end.
Now he's seen everything, so now he can kill himself. You're worried about the plot line it being too unsettling to a cat. How about to a 4-year-old watching?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are we
I
too
have
woke?
well, no, I have some recent experience with this, where there are things that I watch, as we talked about in that Disney segment, with my 4-year-old now, and I'm like, this is really bad, and it doesn't phase her at all. You know what I mean? So I'm not even sure that the kid born in 1939 looked at that and was like, "Oh, it's weird that cat just killed itself."
No, but it's probably more of the, are you laying down another layer of this is
That's true too.
something to think about. This is okay.
And I will tell you this too. In the last, I would say, month, we've consumed Inside Out and Elemental, which I think are both Pixar joints. There's no doubt that as far as like the foundation that you're laying, the kids' movies now are trying to make a better world. Do you know what I mean? Like they're trying to make kids' movies that make you feel like it's okay to be different.
And you know what that is?
Woke.
That is
woke mind
as
virus.
woke as it
Yes,
gets. I wonder
but
if this light would help me.
But I think that's changed like quite a bit. Why are you so worried about it?
I don't know, because now I'm like really in the dark, and you look great. But that's kind of how.
Anyways,
our lives
I
are.
do think that's a thing that at least in the last like 10 years you see a lot more representation. You see a lot more like female
Yeah,
woke roles. as you
people
might
of
say.
color. Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess that's representation.
not a cat who blows his head off because he's surprised by something.
Yeah, just that's even an option.
Yeah,
You can just do that if you feel like
it is always an option. You could also quit your job, move to China, and become a rice farmer. If you want to go one step short, that's an option too.
How about a little sports?
Okay.
We'll go with the sports bed today. How about instead of starting with the Rangers losing, and I don't know what you have to say about that because it was kind of over pretty soon.
I don't know if I feel like it was over pretty soon.
Probably the fourth inning, right? That's where we really.
Yeah. But they came back from down 3-0, and at that point I'm like, all right, we got a night in front of us here. But yeah, there's a moment there where you're like, all right, that ball's leaving the yard, and they're probably not going to be able to surmount this lead.
So
I think it's weird they play again today.
I've never heard the word surmount this lead, but I have heard insurmountable.
Is that not right?
No, it's probably right. But I'm saying I thought surmount would have been one of those things you only hear within the word insurmountable.
Apparently means overcome.
No, I thought you were right. We're not arguing here. It's Friday. We're eating pizza.
It seems to be a Friday thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel great about their chances. I mean, somehow the fact that a guy that they acquired is almost like a throw-in, who the Yankees determined could not pitch in a playoff rotation, is like your best chance to get to 3-2 tonight, or this afternoon rather.
Afternoon?
4:07.
Oh man,
I know.
Yeah, he's been great.
He's been phenomenal.
So,
but that's like the only guy they run out there that you're like, okay, pretty good shot here.
It's odd you're not saying their best chances with Scherzer.
Scherzer or Haney.
Roof was open last night, as I think you said. I didn't realize. I saw John Blake tweet out. First time that was open since May 21st. You do have to think that was a giant waste of money. Just make it a dome. It was an extra $500 million just to say that you can occasionally open it, because they rarely open it.
Yeah, I guess I don't know the difference. Well, I don't want to put my leg up. I forgot we're on camera.
You made him self-conscious.
Too hairy.
I'm sorry. I'm just joking. You're fine. Your hair level is just perfect.
You.
I wish it was mine.
I guess I don't know if they were dead set on building a new park, how much more expensive it was that they made the roof retractable. Like, is that 10% of the cost? Like, it was already just going to be like an insane bilking of the taxpayer.
I feel like it
So
is.
you're just like, okay, whatever. We might as well just throw this in.
I feel like I've heard that it is.
That
like
it's that much more. Yeah, because
when they weigh it. Now, Houston opens it every night. That seems like a good use of it.
Yeah, and wasn't it wasn't Vesco one of the first? Was Seattle one of the first ones? Like, because I feel like whenever the ballpark in Arlington was built, it was right before one of the ones that had the retractable roof. So whether that was like 96, 97, that they were like in right before.
Does Toronto have a retractable?
All I know about Toronto is that people have sex there.
Yeah. Joe Carter told us that.
He did. He did. I don't know. To me, I would think you would want it open all the time, except for like 3 months out of the year.
Or the every night bit. I do kind of like that.
That is cool.
I think as far as resources spent, I'm pretty sure that's a pretty expensive endeavor just to open it. But they don't care.
They don't care. That's what I was going to say. Is it who really cares about that?
They are at a point now where, like, if they lose today, you'll say, you know what? No one expected them to be there.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win another game.
Come on.
I mean, it's a good bet.
Yeah.
Get Montgomery going, and then you got Evaldi for Game 6. And you play, for some reason, you play better down there than you do here against the Astros.
And vice versa.
Yeah. So
seemingly.
We're still in it.
I think I saw the other day that Houston scored like 57 runs in their last 5 games in Arlington. Now, I could have been B-sacked by that, but
is it the jet stream?
It feels like it checks out.
Is this a hitter's ballpark? Have we determined that yet?
I don't think so.
I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
Now, I do know that there are better offensive numbers when the roof is closed.
Well, the roof is usually closed.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I saw
size.
somebody, maybe it was probably Evan, frankly, put out some numbers about that over the last couple of years. But I don't know. 407 on a Friday sucks. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's actually the 7th best hitters park in the majors.
Based on what? Like ops?
Based on
park
this says, yeah, park factors. So thin Texas air and a lack of foul territory.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's always something I never really understood. But then it makes a lot of sense. The foul territory bit.
Yeah.
Because Oakland used to have a giant foul territory.
Yeah.
And I guess just there's a ton of pop-ups like that just go into the stands usually. That don't if you have a giant foul territory. How have we not mentioned this really? Another sports story. Flag football is a possible Olympic game.
I love seeing this on Twitter.
Yeah, I talked about this with our boys from Circling Back last week a little bit. I will tell you, the one thing that Americans should be very careful about is I think the rest of the world can compete if we don't have to tackle each other. Just get a bunch of soccer boys.
You think?
Yeah, I do.
Man, you're trying to cover Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. I mean, they're vastly talented.
Yeah, but they also have to be tackled at their job. You go get like...
But they have to catch that ball.
That ain't that hard.
I don't know why they have sprinters will always be, drafted late, or it used to be when there was more rounds. You would just take a shot on a sprinter, and they would never turn out to be anything.
Yeah, they would have to catch the ball in traffic where they could be hit. If all you have to do is just flip the ball to a 5'10", 5'9", 5'8", 172-pound soccer player, and all he has to do is move his hips, the American advantage has been greatly reduced.
Because if I haven't been ball sacked, the indication is like the NFL is supporting NFL players playing.
I mean, it's 5 years away, but that has been what I've seen as well.
Oh, it's not like the next Olympics?
Mm-mm. It's
I think it's
2028. But still, dude, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to say that I'm some sort of flag football expert here.
Well, in the room you are.
Size doesn't matter.
Speed.
Speed, hips, agility. Go get like whatever 2028's version of Lionel Messi is. He will not be stoppable. They don't really. You don't really have to throw the ball downfield. All you have to do is flip the ball to a little guy. Dude, I've been cooked by females. Do you understand that? Like, I've been on a good team that was cooked by two Vietnamese females.
The charity thing you used to do?
I've called that before, and two of them actually played in that game.
Oh, okay.
The team I play on right now could not have beaten that team of women.
No way.
I swear to God, dude.
They're all half of them are ex-college athletes.
I'm just telling you, dude. You can't pull their flags. They're too quick. They're too low to the ground. Jamar Chase has nothing for that. Nothing.
We have Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn might be an option.
So the undersized NFL player has a better chance.
Way better chance. Way better chance.
Yeah, but what if you're just throwing it up to DK Metcalf? Like your little 5'7" guy's not going to be able to cover that.
Throwing it up where? You're just throwing it to the end zone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Jump ball. LeBron is your tight end.
Yeah, there you go.
Why does LeBron always have to be the tight end? This is an option, but I'm just telling you, if you want to march the ball up and down a field in a flag football game, the big guy is essentially useless.
So I think what we're proving here is it's good that this could be in the Olympics.
I think it would be awesome. I think it would be awesome.
And it would instantly be the number one thing we watch. Because who cares about...
Yeah, because I don't even know what the list is right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Summer Olympics, the only thing is basketball.
Pretty much, yeah. And I guess I watch hockey when it comes to the winter, but that's about it.
You don't watch the one where they shoot a gun? They cross-country ski and then shoot a gun? Have you seen that?
Yeah, like what is it? The not the decathlon, but
I don't know what it's called.
We're the dumbest people
We
alive.
watch curling every now and again.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, but that only holds your attention for 30 seconds.
It looks like a bar game.
Oh, yeah. That's why the Olympics does suck, doesn't it?
It does numbers, though.
I know, but that's all you have to throw a flag on it and it'll do numbers.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
And then I have one more sports note, and it was from earlier this week. And you can tell me where this came from. Ted Cruz is speaking on college athletes. This went viral.
Yeah. So I guess there was just another hearing. I think they've done like 9 or 10 of them now on the NIL, the name, image, and likeness stipulations with regard to the NCAA. And they've been doing this in Congress seemingly like every 3 months now. They get a panel of witnesses up there. It's usually former athletes, couple of administrators, etc., and they all just give their opinions.
Okay.
All right, last question. There's a big debate over whether student athletes should be classified as employees or not. I believe that would be a very serious mistake. It would subject scholarships to taxation. It would subject student athletes to all sorts of wage and hour regulations. It would mean if suddenly you have a receiver who drops a bunch of passes, you can be fired and lose your scholarship. All of that seems really bad for college athletics, not to mention the cost that it would impose on smaller programs that I think would lead to eliminating smaller programs.
So the overworked Twitter response was, hey, who's going to tell them?
Yeah.
That if you drop passes and you're not as good in college football, yes, they can just cut you and take your scholarship away.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you. I didn't know that until my brother got to college. I just assumed if you had a scholarship,
like they lock
it's a
you
4
in
or 5
for 4
year
years.
deal. They do not, obviously. Now, it's pretty untoward to do that, and that's why what Dion did this offseason was a big deal. The walk-off.
Because he was telling people, I'm cutting you.
Yeah. I don't care if you moved here. I don't care if you committed
So
3 years ago.
They've always done it. It's just kind of a thing you don't.
Yeah, it's just not that common. But it definitely can happen. And it especially happens whenever a coaching staff changes. And so, yeah, as I've, for whatever reason, mentioned like 3 times in the past couple of weeks, the guy that recruited my brother got fired. And there was very real concern that it's like, well, he doesn't have a Scully anymore. But they kept him because that's the normal way to do it.
So he got fired, and that's one of the main reasons he wasn't the quarterback anymore?
Well,
like, did the new guy bring in his own recruit?
The new guy started him for 2 years and then wanted his own guy.
Okay. Made him a receiver.
But you know what I was thinking about was weird is it just seems so odd to me that the college payment thing breaks down so politically. Like, in your mind, wouldn't you think that the right would be like, yeah, you should just be paid for your job? Like, you're creating value for this brand, free market, you should be paid. But for whatever reason, it's just always seemed to break down on a conservative thing or liberal thing, I suppose, of we don't believe you should be paid for that.
Well, is the left more of a
labor?
The worker should be paid, and the right is
I guess, but I mean,
worried about the business as a whole.
I think we've experienced some of this a little bit ourselves. It would just seem to me that, like, hey, I work for you, I make you money, I should be paid for that.
Or are we just learning there's just lots of hypocrisy in the
that's probably true.
Different things.
That's probably true.
That each side puts as their
platform.
Yeah. Also, when he says you would be subject to wage and hour regulations, it feels like that would be good.
Trust me.
Like, if
college programs do not want players having to actually log hours because they're putting in 90-hour weeks.
Yeah. And the regulations would say you can't
I feel like
work
you owe
more
them
than 40 hours.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, what would even traveling to a game, playing the game, traveling home, that would all be logged as the hours.
Yeah. Mandatory study hall, mandatory weights.
Yeah, your 6 a.m. practice.
Yeah. No, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Now, as far as like the taxing of the scholarship thing, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
That's over my head.
Yeah,
Blake, your thoughts?
Yeah, it sounds great.
How are you feeling?
I'm all right.
Okay.
Why are you home today?
I kind of woke up overnight like shivering, which is weird, and then I just felt really hot, so I assume, I don't know, flu-like symptoms or something. So, didn't want to get you sick. I didn't have the butt stuff like Jake did, though.
Now, wait, you felt hot. Did you actually have a fever?
Yeah, my wife said I felt warm. I never checked, but I assumed I did.
She is a nurse.
She is a nurse, but...
Do you want me to come over?
The other day, you put a thermometer in your mouth, did you not?
I did.
When you said, hey, I have a 102-degree fever, and you've proved, yeah, I don't want you over if you had 102 degrees. Blake said his wife thought he felt warm.
Yeah.
Do you think Blake just wants to not drive 45 minutes today?
Feeling warm while you're shivering is flu-like symptoms.
Okay. All right.
I'm not hating.
No,
I'm not hating.
Okay, but if I tell you that when I'm sitting on your couch, you'd get really mad at me.
I don't want you here. Not on video day.
Yeah, getting an hour and a half back of my day was also nice.
Yeah. What do you have going today since you don't have a football game? Did you guys win last night?
We did. Yeah, I think we scored touchdowns on like the first couple. I don't know. Yeah, we scored touchdowns on our first 8 possessions, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was bad.
It was no Melissa.
No, Melissa's really good. They're the #1 team in the state.
Okay. So you keep telling yourself that? When you look at the...
Argyle's 2 losses are to the top 2 of the top 5. Yeah. Tell myself that.
Then they basically don't count.
Non-district just preps you for your season. Games don't mean a whole lot then.
Let me do this quick.
Okay.
Oh, man. I didn't have that level ready.
Today in
See what happens when Blake's not here?
The Cherokee Kid.
Hold on, let's look at.
Hey, Jeff.
Goldblum Cam. So I had a couple birthdays from listeners. This came in yesterday, I think, while we were recording. Jerry Elliott. Good dude.
The
great Jerry Elliott. He might have a subby. I don't know.
That would make me very happy.
McCool writes, Uncle Hotmail, it's your 6th or 7th lawyer, McCool. That is a good name.
Yeah, it's the best. I wish
I
you
don't
wouldn't have told me
remember-
that we're saying it wrong.
I don't remember if you do DF birthdays, but please give a shout out to my buddy Bill Collins, who's a partner at a law firm in Boston and would look great with a Dumb Zone kimono, he says.
Boston Bill.
Have you mentioned that we have merch?
I have many times. e6sportswear.com. Spell out 6 / the Dumb Zone.
Nope.
Dumb Zone.
That's why I brought this up the other day.
I know. I forgot.
Why don't we ask Raymond just to make the other thing as well?
Just figure it out.
Because there's a preposition.
It's not a preposition.
There's an article.
It's an article.
I knew it was one
We
of
should
those.
not be telling our listeners to just figure it out. We need to make it easy.
Yeah. They're calling themselves DFs.
Yeah, right.
So we should not assume that they could figure this out. That's like me trying to figure out Goldblum Cam this morning. See how long it took me?
Or Gmail.
He writes, P.S. Our firm recently migrated fully to Office 365. If you're not leveraging the full Microsoft suite beyond just Hotmail, you're missing out. Their new apps and functions include a dizzying array of feature risk. Anyway, he says, congratulations on your wise and forward-thinking email service. I hope you dedicated a few hours each day to see how the Microsoft platform can better serve you.
I just love that you've hung your hat on Hotmail. Like that's
a few hours each day, Blake.
Yeah, that's the hill you want to die on. Hotmail.
Kelly Gear, a lady, writes us.
You sure?
Mm-hmm. Unless some dude puts a lady's picture as his contact picture. Anyway, you should use Hotmail. You'll see the little contact picture. She says,
the ingenuity.
Unbelievable.
Sending this from my Hotmail to show you some support. Although this email is pretty much just for spam and newsletters now, I still have it and use it. And Hotmail is far superior to Yahoo's garbage service. Please wish my brother Tommy Hansen happy birthday. Thanks. Love the new format. Can't wait for some live shows.
Ooh.
Says Day 1 DF. Kelly. You know, it's Friday, October 20th. On this day in 1977, 3 members of the rock group Lynyrd Skynyrd, including their lead singer, were killed in the crash of a chartered plane in Mississippi. That was the day the music died, Blake.
That's not what anyone says.
What do they have, Lynyrd Skynyrd?
I'm sorry, what?
Sweet Home Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Don't act like I'm an idiot. Give me one other song, Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Freebird?
Oh, really? Is that them?
Very, very popular. I like They Call Me the Breeze. I like that song.
On this day in 1982, the world...
See, whenever he's like
That's it.
patently incorrect, he just moves on quickly.
Right.
Just trying to keep things rolling.
Okay.
Lynyrd Skynyrd, what have they ever done?
What do they got? What is this? Eve 6?
The world's worst soccer disaster on this day in 1982 in Moscow. 340 soccer fans crushed to death in an open staircase during a game between the Soviet and the Dutch. So apparently police had herded the fans down an open, icy staircase.
Oh.
The details of this incident were not published in Russia until 7 years later.
That's common. The day the music died is this.
That's right. On this day in 1988, Reggie Rogers killed 3 teenagers while driving under the influence. He was the number 1 pick of the Detroit Lions. Reggie Rogers' brother was Don Rogers. He was a Cleveland Brown great, hard-hitting safety. He overdosed on cocaine in 1986.
What year was the accident you said?
88.
Okay.
So 2 years later, he's
stricken by grief, perhaps?
Well, no, not at all. He's top pick of the Lions. He's really happy.
Yeah,
he's
I don't know.
2 years
but,
removed from his brother's death.
Dealing with some substance issues related to, I don't know.
Okay, always trying to make an excuse for Reggie Rogers.
The Rogers family.
That's me.
Don Rogers, details of his overdose. He died the day before his wedding. So,
whoa.
Kind of the bachelor party.
Yeah.
And it was 8 days after Len Bias had died. Do you know Len Bias?
Of course.
Blake?
I need a refresher.
Len Bias was the number 1 pick, maybe the number 1 overall pick in the NBA for the Boston Celtics. And he overdosed on cocaine, celebrating the fact that he was the number 1 overall pick in the NBA. And then he's dead.
I don't know that I would have been able to live through I'm a pro athlete 80s bachelor party. If we're just being honest.
Yeah.
Lots of cocaine, man.
Yeah.
In the 80s, late 70s. I think maybe that book about the ABA, Loose Balls, might have a lot in there.
Yeah, I've read that.
And this is the first day that the SMU program played. First game after the death penalty was imposed.
It was like 102-0 or something.
95-21.
Okay.
They lost to Houston.
Wait, today?
Yeah, 1989. Somehow their first game wasn't until October 20th. That seems weird. 1,021 yards in total offense. Houston.
I knew it was 4 numbers. Yeah.
Other birthdays today.
And you don't think that's what the United States would do to Lithuania in flag football?
Dude, I'm telling. Well, Lithuania maybe, but I'm talking Spain, Germany. Well, maybe not Germany. Portugal, South American countries, Asian countries. Lithuania can get these hips, but I don't know, man.
We're gonna dominate.
Check back with me in 4 years.
I think I gave you a bad birthday the other day because today is the birthday of Juan Gonzalez. He's 54.
Wando.
Chad Hennings, 58.
Air Force.
Dexter Coakley is 51.
The Chad Hennings thing was a big deal when I was growing up.
What do you mean?
The fact that the Cowboys had a player who was a fighter pilot. You're like, bro.
Did you love him?
Oh, of course.
Dexter Coakley, 51. Don't you live by him?
No.
Oh.
Different
Cowboy
linebacker from that era.
Kenneth Walker III is 23. Everybody's trying to get him from me, Blake.
Like really good.
The one valuable piece left on my fantasy
Only
team.
one of us voted for him for the Doak Walker Award, though.
That's right.
And it wasn't either one of you two jokers.
And now you don't even want to do it. What's wrong with you?
I know.
It's an honor.
So much pub.
It's an honor.
Snoop Dogg is 52.
Murder was the case they gave me.
And Kamala Harris is 59.
So hot.
You think?
Yeah.
Would you want to be the first gentleman?
Dougie?
Or wait, second gentleman.
Second gentleman, yeah. And do jersey bets with her?
Yeah.
And then
over his button up, by the way.
Yeah, it's lame. But
died on this day in 2010. I'll give you one death today. We have Bob Guccione.
Why do I know that name? I'm sorry. Should I know it?
No, I just wonder if Blake knew.
No.
But Blake's
not really participating in the show today at all.
Just are you watching a
is FaZe Clan on right now?
Are you watching a tournament?
No.
On your other screen?
I'm locked in.
7 screens in his gaming room.
Just 2. Well,
Bob Guccione was the founder of Penthouse.
Ah, okay.
which and then he died in Plano at the age of 79. I don't know why he was here, but
I think he was performing at Hat Tricks.
What's your familiarity with Penthouse and Playboy, Blake?
I don't know if I've ever looked at one of or either of them, like the magazine.
What?
I don't think I ever have.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, obviously familiar
from your earliest memory.
My earliest memory in that field was we had Cinemax, which you flew by at night, you'd catch something. But yeah, that I guess so. Like torrents. Yeah, it was never. I don't know. The magazine never. I was past that, I think.
In my mind, growing up, there were 3 magazines. Now there were all the other dirty ones in the gas station that we go to by your house, Jake.
Playboy, Hustler, Penthouse.
Yeah, and it was Playboy was classy.
Yeah,
they would airbrush. They would not show home plate.
Yeah, there was no pen.
No pen for sure. But Penthouse was the next step down.
Yeah.
Like Playboy actually had articles that supposedly you could, I don't know, they sold it in such a way that if you were a man, you could just get Playboy delivered to your house and that would be a normal thing. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah. And
my buddy, his dad had a subscription to Playboy and, mom would just bring the Playboy in from the mailbot like no big deal. Could you imagine your wife bringing your subscription of Playboy going, here, honey?
Probably not. However, I can tell you it's not a made-up thing as much as people are like would always do the joke of, I get it for the articles. Like half of the great American writers from the back half of the 20th century submitted something to Playboy. I was going to say spent time with Playboy.
Got paid.
A lot of it was probably freelance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
no, there was
a
really
common thing. War coverage.
It was very common to have a very quotable interviews.
Yeah.
You'd have Jimmy Carter interviewed by Playboy.
Yeah.
Like he's running for president. I better do a Playboy interview.
Again, this is where the John Mayer interview came from, referenced last week, Blake, but Hunter S. Thompson, stuff like that.
Yeah. Penthouse, though, was thought of as a bit seedier.
Yeah.
But if you're a bit hornier and you need to see, the
little boosh.
Yeah, you want to see down there, Penthouse, that's your place.
Now, Hustler.
Now, if you just want to go to 11 or to 50, whatever.
Yeah.
Hustler's like, we'll open it up. We'll show everything. We'll show like your fat neighbor.
Yeah.
Just send a picture of it. We'll put it in.
Fat neighbor.
Like you ever see Beaver Hunt? Was that the thing at the end?
Yeah.
Like at the very back of the magazine would be Polaroid pictures.
Yeah.
And who is the guy that Donovan worked with at the Bone? Spicoli.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about this?
I do.
Spicoli's claim to fame was that his girlfriend was in Beaver Hunt. Like he sent a Polaroid of her box. It's just,
jeez, like, that is so Uncle Hotmail.
They were so disgusting too. There was nothing good to look at in that. Like again, it's your neighbor. Your neighbors. Just picture your neighbor, and just her husband took a picture of that and sent it in. And then it'd have like their name.
Yeah, that's
from
super
Washington,
gross.
D.C.
That's disgusting. I would never look at that.
I don't know, dude. I'd like to go find an old hustler and say, what on this back page are you finding attractive?
It's just that it's something different.
Yeah, but throughout the magazine, they have.
That's true, too.
Again, they have porn.
And they also didn't have the redeeming, like, here's a file from Baghdad. What
was that Pia Zadora magazine?
That was
Playboy.
Playboy.
Playboy? Okay.
Yeah.
No, if you running across a Penthouse or a Hustler was very rare.
Yeah, it was usually.
But again, Pia Zadora was on the cover of my buddy's dad's Playboy.
It was in the woods. Like I know Mike Reiner's told that story many, many times. That's honestly how it was for us.
So that's same as me.
There were just a couple of them that were in the woods.
You would find like a stash.
Yeah.
And then you would move it somewhere.
and
then some
other
other
kids
kids
would move it somewhere else.
Would find a stash, but you had to try and hide it.
Yeah.
Inside a hollowed out log or somewhere that it would.
Yeah.
But it would kind of already be kind of waterlogged and tough to.
Yeah. Just dirt on it. It's so awful.
It was such a different world, Blake. And here's Blake.
Sounds great.
With his porn.
Yeah. On your phone.
Did you used to get pay sites like they did in Superbad, Blake?
No, I never did that.
I never did that either.
No.
Neither of you have ever paid for a porn site?
Not once.
No. I mean, why? I don't get it. I don't know. There's so much free out there.
Yeah, why?
There is a lot free, but sometimes you want the artful direction and the full
full what?
The full story.
No, I don't. Oh, right. I'm more of a thumbnail guy.
It's time for a dumb zone interstitial.
How long have we been going, Blake?
Like an hour at least.
Yeah, an hour.
Okay, because we do have we want to preview some NFL. We have news. We have Chappy. And we have this audio I've been talking about all week, so I might want to play that for you. So what this is I don't know how I happened upon this, down some kind of a YouTube rabbit hole type thing. I think I was watching like a Seinfeld being interviewed by Letterman, and then one of the things you could watch after that was a compilation of Seinfeld cast members being interviewed. And I guess I can't remember the guy's name. He's a pretty famous guy, was interviewing them. It wasn't like the McNeil-Lehrer report, but someone like that. Some PBS guy. In a just blank studio, and they just sit at a table, and it's just a one-on-one thing. And he was just interviewing all the cast members of Seinfeld. And they were talking to the guy that played George Costanza.
Jim Lehrer?
No, because I said it wasn't the McNeil-Lehrer.
Oh,
report.
okay. I just heard McNeil.
It was like
a... Okay.
I could find it, but it's
James
probably...
Lipton?
It wasn't James Lipton. I'd remember that.
I'm going to give up.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll find it for you, but it's not that relevant. The point is the Jason Alexander part is relevant. So what they were talking about was the fact that the Seinfeld cast, apparently this was a famous moment. Oh, by the way, did you know that so Seinfeld was on for 9 years, and it changed the game. It changed TV for sure. For me, it was the biggest thing going. And it was on for 9 years. And I remember thinking the last year or so got a bit too absurd. Were you a Seinfeld guy?
Yeah, but I haven't gone back.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I really have like a feel for which. I do know that if you go back and watch the first season now, it's jarring how bad it is.
Really?
Yeah.
There was only 4 episodes, I think.
Yeah, and Kramer's like a different character. The set looks different. I think it was really probably season 2 when they figured out the voice for each character.
Well, did you know that Larry David left after 7 years?
No.
I didn't either until I'd watched this.
I did not know that.
And then I remember thinking this show, it's time for it to leave. The storylines were just getting too absurd. Like they were talking about the fact that everything on that show, just about everything, happened to Larry David. Like all their storylines were things that actually he could pull something from reality. And I think those last couple of years, they just started making things up.
Yeah.
And that's why it actually was a bit too absurd.
That's interesting.
But you may have heard of this, Blake. Didn't the Friends cast all band together in solidarity for contractual reasons at one point?
Yeah. Yeah, they're towards the end.
Well, the Seinfeld cast, minus Jerry, because Jerry was the creator, did that as well. And I think they ended up getting, unprecedented at the time, over $600,000 an episode. But they asked for $1 million an episode.
I think that's what Friends got. They got $1 million per episode.
That's what I always heard.
Yeah. Which is, what, back then? You're doing 26 shows a year?
Jeez.
So, the Seinfeld cast did, they went in asking for $1 million. And they were asking Jason Alexander how that all came about.
Did you begin that? Was that your idea?
I didn't. I didn't
get
begin the $1 million idea. The $1 million figure actually first came out of Julia's mouth, but it was not. It was not a.
Why not $1 million? Right.
Well, it was not a wild. Well, I wish I got $1 million. There had been actual research done.
And by the way, the reason I'm playing this for you is after I heard him do this. This is a 3-minute cut. I'm like, there's analogies here between this and the situation we've recently been through. So I want to see if you agree with me on that. Obviously, way different worlds, but I feel like there's something there.
There had been actual research done. We knew that for the network alone, every episode of Seinfeld generated $14 million of profit, of sheer profit, for the network alone, let alone Castle Rock and the syndication participants. We had argued that after 5 years of being in Seinfeld, there was no upside in the long run for the three of us to continue doing the show. It had made us celebrities. It had made us some money. But if we were going to be actors with careers that extended, where we needed to play different roles, continuing to put out the image of George, Elaine, and Kramer was actually detrimental to our long-run careers. So why was there any incentive for us to be in this for the long run? Unless those shows were extremely profitable to us. So we argued that we needed to be cut in on syndication. We needed syndication points. And we were told in no small terms to go take a hike. When we got into the bargaining chair and NBC so desperately wanted to have another season or another 2 seasons, we said again, syndication, our salaries are fine, but you're making such massive profits in syndication, profits of $3 to $4 million per show, and into infinity. And you don't want to give us any of that? Okay. In order for us to feel good about doing this show, I want to leave the most successful half hour in the history of television knowing that I never have to work again. That is what I require, or you can't have my services. So knowing what all the revenues were, what we would have made had they given us the syndication, what everybody was making up front, we tried to figure out what percentage of the success formula of the show were the three of us. And we came up with Jerry, Larry, the writers, us, and everything else. The wonderful guest players, all the other stuff. Well, as 1/5 of that formula, we said, here's the number, $1 million an episode.
And when you uttered that number, what did they say?
They did what they should have done, which is laughed at us. I also knew that it was detrimental to television if they made the deal with us. And it is proven to be detrimental. It is outrageous upfront money. Outrageous. It is bad for television. $13 million an episode for ER. $1 million each to Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt for a show that's number 25 to 30 in the ratings. These are bad prices. You ask for that kind of money when you are producing the kind of profit revenue that we are producing. But we couldn't ask for it on that side. They wouldn't give it to us. So we had to take it out up front. And I personally feel that we damaged the economics of television and that NBC was foolish to give us what they gave us. But there was no way we were going to come back for anything less than the 6. The 6 was my bottom line, so I guess I'm guilty of that. I knew that at $600,000 an episode, we would gross a certain amount, I would net a certain amount, and that would pay for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Are you feeling any of that?
Yeah, there's a lot there.
It's Charlie Rose, by the way.
Yeah, I knew once you started playing it. He's no longer in the game.
Is he dead?
No, I don't think so. He just had a pretty hardcore chem spin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sexual harassment?
Oh, yeah. A series of bad ones. I don't mean to indicate there are good ones.
Staffers? Yeah, no.
They were just really bad. But yeah, no, that's fascinating. The fact that he had thought through the economics that much, the fact that they had talked about it that much, his take on the long-term impact of it, his drive-by at Paul Reiser.
Yeah, that was harsh.
Your show sucks, and you make $1 million a year.
I thought when he was talking about we couldn't ask for it on that side,
right?
And that's kind of because people will say to this day, McCool might have said that to me when he was here. I can't remember. Just the other day, I was talking to somebody saying, "So in the end, what did it? I mean, did it? You just wanted to podcast? You guys just wanted to podcast?" I'm like, no. That again, that you want to boil down our whole contractual dispute to, well, what was the one thing?
And nobody thinks like that.
What? That there was one thing?
Well, I just mean like when people make decisions in their own life, it's never one thing about anything. Like if somebody gets a divorce or something, and you're like, well, what happened?
Yeah, what could she have just changed?
It's like,
or
it's
what
not,
one change?
Yeah.
And yeah, so it wasn't just we just wanted to podcast. We wanted to hypothetically, we were, contracts have changed over the years and the media has changed over the years. And so, big media companies are trying to figure out how to navigate it. And I feel like it was a situation where we wanted to be able to do other things if we wanted to. And that was something that they did not want us to be able to do. It was possibly podcasting. It was possibly doing video stuff. It was like we're thrust into this now. That's why we're doing it. Because we can't do anything else at this point. Someday we possibly can. But it wasn't like a thing. Hey, you guys just wanted to be podcasters. No. We like doing a show all the time. We like doing a show together. We like doing a show every day, as evidenced by the fact that we're doing it on, Patreon, which oftentimes people will do one a week for $5 a month. And we're doing 5 a week for $6.90 a month, which seems like a really good deal, right? If you want to pay for content. I don't know. What do you say to people when they say, "Oh, you guys just wanted to podcast, huh?" Are you concerned about talking about this at all?
I'm not necessarily concerned about it. I don't know that I have my thoughts organized properly enough to convey them even at this point yet. I do know that I wanted to try to do some other stuff. And I wanted to do it with you, and I wanted to do it ultimately with Blake at some point. However, we've talked about the fact that had Blake decided to stay at our former employer, I would have fully supported that. So that wasn't really like a part of the equation so much. It was just, I don't know. I mean, the documents are out there, so I don't know how much we can really say about this, but the way the negotiations ultimately unfolded, to me, I was just no longer feeling it that much. That's the best way I can put it. I loved working there. I would have liked to have worked there the rest of my life. But there were just a few things that went down a certain way that I just thought that's not going to work for me long term.
I guess,
and part of that was the idea of saying like, hey, we would like the ability, the freedom to expand our game a little bit outside of just doing what we do right now. And we were essentially told that's probably ultimately not going to happen. And I think in the long run, I think media companies that don't see things that way are going to have a better chance of succeeding and thriving. I've never really believed in the protectionist cannibalization model of we have to, tighten the circle. I don't believe in that. I never have. So
I think we had talked about how like Michael Irvin is on the NFL Network, but then ESPN, they'll have him on, and the NFL Network says, "Yeah, go ahead."
You know what? It goes back. It goes back to your thing that you have mentioned forever about how like late night talk shows, some of them would be like, "We can't have someone from NBC on. We're CBS," and others would be like, "Why? We don't care. We just want good guests."
Yeah.
And I've never understood the former approach to that as opposed to the latter. To me, it's just I don't get that. But
yeah. Anyway, I thought his explanation, again, way different, obviously, and way different numbers.
Yeah, I would say so.
But it was the we wanted to get paid some on the back end, and that's kind of what we were looking to do, because there's a certain amount of revenue made, by our former station and everything, and we didn't think they would want to pay it on the front end, and we were trying to get it on the back end. And the freedom, so there isn't one thing, but it was the media's changing. What's it going to look like in a few years? Can we dip our toe in this area? Not be thrown in. We're now thrown in.
Yeah.
We were looking to dip our toe in, but it wasn't like just, hey, we just wanted to. That's the main thing. People will say to me, oh, you guys just wanted a podcast, huh? No. Not just that. There's just so many moving parts to it. But now I'll just direct them to Jason Alexander and see if they could put all that together.
We got a drain.
Oh, you want to take a nice little break?
We've been going for a long time.
Let's do that. We'll talk to Chappy. Are we still doing Chappy? Did he win last week? All right.
I think now we fade Chappy.
All right.
The dumbs. Oh.
No, you fucking did not.
I ain't got no time for this. Bye, Felicia.
Okay. No.
What did he just say?
No.
Did he just say bye, Felicia? To me?
Yeah. What does that mean?
Bye, Felicia.
Jesse, you will never run this family. So bye, Felicia, to you, Jesse.
Who's Felicia?
You are.
No, you're Felicia.
Let's just all act like adults.
You're
Yeah.
Felicia.
Well,
Yeah.
we can act like adults if he's Felicia, because I'm not fucking Felicia.
Felicia?
No, you're Felicia.
No, it's okay.
You're Felicia.
Okay, he's not with it. Hey. I know you're not Felicia. I'm Kelvin, you're Judy, okay?
No, I'm Judy.
I know you are. You want a snow cone?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get you a snow cone.
You want to just tell me when to bring it back?
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, let me talk to Chappy and then then I'll tell you. Hey, Chappy.
Hey there.
Yeah, you sound good.
Yeah, I can see you guys too. You know, don't discount me. I can still pull a few things off.
Okay. All right. Well, it works. All right. So we're gonna we'll bring you on here in a minute, Chappy.
Okay.
Oh.
No, you fucking did not.
Hey, I know you're not Felicia. I'm Kelvin, you're Judy, okay?
Yeah, I'm Judy.
I know you are. You want a snow cone?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get you a snow cone.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone, The Dumb Zone, The Dumb Zone, The Dumb Zone, The Dumb Zone.
I don't have a lot of drops. Actually, I do, I guess. I forgot about Beth.
Friends. Fluoride in the water. Ringo Starr. Ragdoll Cat.
No puppet.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is, folks.
It's a Friday, you know?
Of course.
Got to have that on a Friday. It is Friday. And every Friday, you know what we do?
Order pizza.
That is correct. We order pizza. And we talk football heading into the weekend. Big weekend coming up. I don't know. Is there a big weekend coming up?
I have a big weekend coming up for sure.
What do you got going?
I got a concert tonight at Texas Motor Speedway and Nate Bargatze tomorrow night.
What's tonight?
The great Zach Bryan.
Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
What's he got?
I would never even actually try to sell it to you.
Name a hit.
Red dirt truck, dirt on my boots.
Nothing like that at all.
Rip in my jeans.
Red Solo Cup?
No.
Belt buckles and revolvers.
No. It's none of that at all. He's a
Rhinestone Cowboy?
No. He's a phenomenal American artist.
Would he put a boot anywhere in your?
No, no, he wouldn't do that either. He would not do that either. But I got a double hotel night tonight and tomorrow.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Where's kids?
Parents.
Okay. Making another kid, perhaps.
I don't think so. No.
Oh.
I don't think that will be happening.
Double hotel weekend.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Fort Worth weekend.
Yeah, are you even coming back at all?
No. I mean, I'll be back on Sunday by 1 p.m. to take on
yes.
the competition.
Well, speaking of parents, let's bring them on, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing a video today. And we now welcome to the main stage Chappy Kemp.
Hey.
Well, how cool is that? I was in the backstage there for a while. It said I was in the backstage.
That's right. You were in the green room.
I was in the green room waiting for my name to be called, and here it is. It's working pretty good, isn't it?
What do you got going on today?
You know what, Jake? I'm packing. I've got a huge week in front of me, but right now I got a fried bologna sandwich working in the skillet.
Okay.
With some onion rings in the air fryer, and after that I got a 6:30 flight in the morning to New York, and then a 8-day cruise up along the eastern seaboard into Canada.
Nice.
Yep.
Here's cruise guy.
Yep. And then I looked at the looked at the weather for the next 6 days, and exactly every place I'm going, it's like downpours. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So the ship says, well, we don't have to go into the port. We're not obligated to do that if it's choppy waters or this or that. You just kind of lose out on that. So I was like, well, maybe it'll change. But yeah, that's this weekend and all the way to next Sunday.
Have you ever played shuffleboard?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's the thing. When I was growing up, I just remember hearing about cruises and that old people went on cruises and played shuffleboard. I don't really even know what shuffleboard is.
What?
Do you?
Yeah.
What is it?
I cut my teeth on shuffleboard. I mean, when I was 16 drinking beer in places I shouldn't be, shuffleboard was right there with you. You know, had your sawdust working and you know what it is, Dan. Slide it down, try to bump a man off. You got little things that look like magnets.
Oh, the thing on
It's the basic bar game.
on the bar. Okay, but I
Yeah.
thought shuffleboard was like with a stick and you push something
No,
on
that was,
the ground.
as we referenced before, curling.
No. I think there's a shuffleboard with a stick.
Yeah, where you slide the little disc on the ground, and there's a triangle you try to shoot it into.
That's what I had. I didn't know the thing at the bar was called shuffleboard.
That's what I've always called it.
Oh.
Yeah. I think you may be right, though, Dan. I think there is a second term to that. I got the picture of a older person with some white sneakers playing shuffleboard on a boat that's rocking back and forth. I got you. I hear you.
All right.
You know, and everybody lines up at 4 o'clock to eat a dinner and they're farting by 7 o'clock in bed. I got you. But that ain't me, dude. I don't roll that way. I have a medallion around my neck and it's good for 15 drinks a day because I have the premium drink package.
15 a day?
15 a day. And that does include a up call on a coffee if you want a latte or you want, something of those sorts. But if you just want to ball out, it's 15 a day, son.
I don't think I'd see noon.
Yep, 15 a day. Use it as you want. No carryover. But I guess I'm just setting the scene that you could be one of those people. There's no doubt about it.
And you're well known for your frugality, so I would imagine you're the kind of guy that if you have an all-you-can-eat, which I understand these cruises are, you'll come back home a few pounds heavier.
Yeah, you do. You do. But this particular ship I've been on before, not the exact one, but the same layout. So I know my way around it pretty good. It's got 15 decks and you find your spots where, you can stop. Those buffet, big, huge things, they're not that good. That's kind of like slopping hogs. It's just not that good. You got to hit your spots. You go to your international cafes, you go to your hot spots, you get you some soup, maybe a chicken pot pie. You work at those kind of scenes over.
Earlier today, we were talking about Playboy versus Penthouse and Hustler. Were you a guy who ever had a Playboy subscription?
No, never had a subscription, but certainly had access. That's interesting you bring those three up, with Flint and whatnot. But, yeah, I started out on Playboy back in elementary and junior high.
Sure, yeah. Then you graduate to...
Yeah.
Well, Penthouse
move through the
Penthouse was a step up. There's no doubt about it. But, I mean, Hustler just raunchy. It was raunchy.
Yeah.
It had no class at all to it, man. I mean, show me something, but come on, man. No. You saw how that guy ended up too, right, Flint?
Yeah, I think because someone shot him.
I do too. I actually do. I actually believe that.
Well, no, it's like a fact. I think you have.
No.
This is not 9/11.
Objective fact. Yes.
Okay, so I'm not disagreeing with that, but the reason he got shot, I misspoke. I knew that.
Oh.
The reason he got shot, well, there was a lot of speculation about it. So I'm not real sure, but yeah, those kind of run those three. That's kind of like A, B, and C on that. And C's, you didn't see many Hustlers on the newsstand, not in your Piggly Wiggly.
No, that was in the
3-pack,
the dorm bathroom.
Yeah,
just the dorm, where we called it, which had to be one of the grossest pieces of paper you could have ever touched.
Good grief.
Yeah, that kind of makes me sick.
Yeah. Well, enjoy that fried bologna.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk football. Unless you want to just from now on, just come on, give us a couple of life hack tips, and then you could leave. Because the whole talking football thing is not going well for you this year. Did you lose last week again?
Oh my goodness. It's just 1/3 of the season, Dan. I mean, my gosh, I come back storming hard, and I'm seeing the field, not just the field, but from 20 miles away from the field. You got 6 games in the book, 17, and with grown man football, that's not even including postseason. So don't count your money in your wallet or the lack thereof right off the bat. I got some things straightened out with Blake, and he said, "Hey, I want to give 5 a week, but don't get wordy with them. Just buzz by them, and your last one hit it up a little bit. Kind of went over the schedule, but yeah, I'll give you this. My overall record is 5-10-3. I'm not doing well on locks at all. Last week I went 2-3, but we are in agreement. So I'm 5-10-3 as we speak right now. So I'll be keeping up with that as well.
Okay. Well, give us your 5 quickies then.
Here we go. And I got to tell you, I'm about to piss in my pants. I'm so excited about these, but here it is.
Just why?
I got 1 college and 4 pro. And you know from past practice, when I start loading up on grown man football, that's when the heater comes out, because I'm highly accurate in pro football. All right, the 1 college game, great game tomorrow. I'll take Penn State plus 5.5 at the shoe. So I'm going to take Penn State. I'm not going to get into the particulars of it, other than Notre Dame had them close. And I think Penn State is as good as Notre Dame. And Penn State's getting 5.5 with a hell of a defense. Number 1, actually, in the country. So Penn State plus 5.5 in the shoe. All right, we'll go over to the pros. I like the Browns -3. And by the way, Blake's got these. I'm going to start sending them to him prior to the show. Browns -3.
That game will have P.J. Walker versus Gardner Minshew.
That's right. And the Browns are coming off a pretty good win last week.
Yeah.
I'd rather actually P.J. Walker was playing just as consistent as Watson was. Minshew had an awful time. I see the Browns winning, but that's -3. They're playing at the Colts. I'll take the Browns. The third one is I'll take the Bucks -2.5 at home. Both of those teams are coming off disappointing losses, but I think Mayfield bounces back, and I don't like the way Ritter looks. He's just too inconsistent. So I'll take Tampa Bay -2.5 at home. Next to last game, I'll take the Rams -3 at home against the Steelers. And if you've kind of noticed with Pickett, he's went actually backwards this year. And there's a reason why. It's because the Steelers have a new OC, and they are just not on the same page. So I'll take the Rams. I do like the way Stafford's looking this year. So I'll take the Rams -3 at home. And here's my lock of the week. I'll take Green Bay -1.5 at Denver. Green Bay's, they're coming off a bye. They didn't look too good last time out. They're healthier. Aaron Jones is back on the field. The Broncos are a mess. I'm sorry. Their defense is bad. Their offense has issues. I think Love will be able to move the ball against the Broncos. Most of the teams that have played the Broncos this year, this is their get-right game. I just simply think the Packers have better personnel on the field. So I'll take Green Bay as my lock, -1.5 at Denver.
Let's get to 10-10-3.
That's all it takes, son, is right now. I mean, I go 5-0. I'm 10-10-3. And then the next thing you know, you're going to have to call the fire department, because these are going to be smoking off the pages. And lost a lot of close ones. And so, when that happens, generally speaking, I'll give you an example. Look at the Giants last year. They won every game close. Now what are they doing? They're either getting blown out or losing every game. So it all rolls back around. Hey, next Friday I'm on the cruise ship. I'll see what we can do, Blake, about getting hooked up. If not, I'll at very least send you my picks.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll get it figured out one way or the other.
Okay.
All right, Chappy.
Thanks, Pops.
Can y'all see me, Dan?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we've seen you walking around for the last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some flies in here that are eating at my legs, and I have to keep walking around.
What kind of necklace you got there?
Oh, it's expensive.
Is that a pearl necklace?
Okay.
No, I hadn't been listening to ZZ Top, but let me see. Can you see?
All right. All right. We're going to go.
Okay, I appreciate it.
See
Have
you,
a good
Pops.
trip.
Bye, Chappy.
Bye. See you later. Thanks for calling.
There goes Chappy. The So I guess when you say you got grandparents helping out, that doesn't mean him.
No.
As he's about to get on a cruise.
I think before he divulged that information, you probably knew that already.
So, yeah, sometimes I have a lot of notes looking at the games.
We got Sunday night, man.
Sunday night is obviously the game of the week. Dolphins at Eagles.
That's going to be absolutely electric.
Eagles favored by 2.5.
However, let's take a look real quick at this.
My big note was just there's some bad quarterback matchups. Of the bad quarterback matchups, I think P.J. Walker versus Gardner Minshew is the best.
Yeah.
This is the best of the bad.
Yeah, we have Josh Dobbs versus Geno Smith. We have Sam Howell versus Tyrod Taylor. And we have Tyson Bagent.
A name that I did not know existed 2 days ago.
Oh, I thought for sure you would, because you're always like, oh, yeah, he played college at this, whatever. You don't even know who he is.
No, I don't.
He's on the Bears. So maybe he just started in the pros. And taking on Brian Hoyer. Who last won a game. I just had to look this up today. October 2nd, 2016.
Jeez.
Since then, he has started 19 NFL games. He is 0-19.
Good God. What about Kaepernick?
In his, why isn't Kaepernick the starter for the Raiders?
Tyson Bagent played at a school called Shepherd.
That's
and I think they're
real.
I think the Raiders are going Aiden O'Connell, Dan.
Oh, I thought they're going Hoyer.
From what I'm seeing today, I think they're gonna go with their rookie.
Well, that doesn't make my awesome stat any less true.
Or your display name that you were very fired up about when you saw that note at some point.
Oh, I guess this morning is when I put that Hoyer name. So. Yeah, well, otherwise, yeah, that's all I got from the NFL weekend.
There is a lot of good college football. I don't know how much of it I'll be able to watch, especially if I don't know. I guess it'll depend on what happens with the Rangers, but they play 4 today. Is it 7 tomorrow, Blake? I know it's 7 Sunday if they play Sunday.
So you got concert tonight.
I think we're going to go somewhere and watch the game as soon as I get out of here.
And then you're not going home?
No.
You're just at the same hotel in Fort Worth all weekend?
Yes. Okay, no Rangers tomorrow, so that's good. But they do play Sunday night.
And then probably Monday afternoon.
Yeah. But there's a lot of good college football this weekend.
Who do we got? What are you excited about?
Well, Penn State, Ohio State obviously is the big one, which is it drives me insane that game is at 11 a.m. Not even from my own personal viewing standpoint. It just feels like a game, whether it's State College or Columbus. Don't play that at 11.
Yeah, that feels like a 6:30 or 7 o'clock game, but
For sure.
The networks just love these 11 a.m. games.
Fox does for sure. I mean, that's a big noon. But yeah, you got a couple of other good ones. Utah USC is an elimination game. Texas Houston. North Texas Tulane, Blake.
I've moved on.
Shine is off Lincoln Riley right now.
Boy, there's no doubt about that. He had a very awkward press conference the other day. And then Tennessee, Alabama is a big one also. There are 3 or 4 games where whoever loses is done. Until we get to participation trophy playoff where everybody gets in.
What's your weekend, Blake?
I'm going to fly to Kansas Saturday morning for TCU at Kansas State. Looking forward to that because I hear they have ice cream in the press box.
Dork.
And then, I'll fly back Sunday morning.
Do you have to room with who's the voice of TCU?
Brian Estridge. No, I actually room with Jake's buddy, Elvis Gallegos.
So you do have to room with someone. I thought they get you your own room.
For basketball, you do. But for football, since there's so many of us, we have to double up.
Elvis, great dude.
Yeah.
Is he?
The best.
Give him my regards. Dominant athlete.
Here's
felt like that was the right time for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Zone News. That's all they want to hear.
Thank you, Wawa Guitars. So yesterday, in Forest Hill, Texas, Blake, hundreds gathered for a vigil honoring a Fort Worth ISD school cafeteria employee. 56-year-old Yolanda Gibbs was murdered. There was an arrest made in this case last week. A man that had dated her for 2 years shot her in the parking lot of the elementary. Now, followers of this program will note that we don't typically do these type of stories, just bummer stuff. But the reason that I did want to do this one, they had a balloon release for her at the vigil, and I just want you guys to know, I want that. Like, if I get murdered, or really no matter what happens, and you guys, obviously you would take it upon yourself to put together some sort of event to honor me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Of course.
We've already got it planned.
I want balloons.
So, how many? What is it?
Hundreds and hundreds. Yeah. I mean, I think pretty much everyone there brought a bunch of balloons.
And then so we all count down and say, let's let go?
Yeah.
And then eventually they will fall to the ground or get caught in trees and then
unless
strangle birds.
What happens, do you remember whenever I've told you about that 1986 Cleveland Balloon Fest?
Something. I can't remember what exactly happened.
It caused like a massive environmental disaster.
Yeah. But it's worth it if you died.
I think you're right.
One of us has to say Jake would have loved to have seen this.
Yeah.
You know what I was shocked at when I saw this as a kid? The 21 gun salute.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just have 7 guys there shoot three times. That's not cool, is it?
It's hard to get 21 people.
7 guns.
Why would it be hard to get 21 people, Blake?
I was just trying to, I don't know. People are busy.
We've always heard of the 21 gun salute, and then you see it and you say, I'm counting the guns. If you use one gun 3 times, you don't say, hey, I got 3 guns here.
Boy, that's a great point.
Yeah. Write your congressman.
The number of former Californians who became Texans dropped slightly last year.
Good.
So they stopped Californiaing our Texas. They are now moving to Arizona and Florida at higher rates.
Your throat's been doing stuff all day.
I know, it's weird. I mean, I kind of lied to you and told you I was 100%.
That's all right.
Just because I wanted to be here, because I knew Blake was going to be a little big.
I said yes because I didn't want to pizza myself.
That's totally okay. So anyways, the flow of Californians to Texas, that has been the largest state-to-state movement in the U.S. for the past 2 years, California to Texas, and that has decreased from 2022 to 2023.
Are people, is California more, I don't know what the terms are, people leaving more? Like people are leaving, obviously, you look at the year-to-year Ohio, people will leave Ohio. Whereas Texas grows every year.
Yeah, I know that.
And if so, why? Why are people leaving California?
Well, I know that like when it comes to the Midwest, we talked about this 3 or 4 years ago. It was like the first time that Chicago proper had actually lost population in like 100 years. I think in general, it comes down to people who are like, oh, real estate is going to be cheaper. There are a lot of companies here, right? There's a lot of job opportunities.
That's probably tax-wise.
But the thing is, though, is that every single time you see one of those studies done, our effective tax rate is the same or higher than theirs because of property taxes.
Dude, property taxes suck.
I know, but that's the
I just
thing is
got
you
one in
always
the
hear
mail.
it's like, well, we don't have income tax, so come to Texas. It's like
They get you somehow.
we end up paying more than a lot of other places do that you think of as like, oh, they have crazy high liberal taxes.
California, though, just everything costs so much.
That's part of it too, for sure.
Yeah, and I've heard that since people can work from home basically anywhere,
yeah,
like you can just live in Mississippi and work in New York.
You know where I think people are going to start moving? Is like Michigan.
Why?
I think like that middle part of the country is eventually going to become much more highly populated. Because of things like what Blake just said. Like if you can just live anywhere, first of all, I don't love living where it's 110 degrees for dude, it's 90 today in the middle of October.
Yeah.
So I understand that like a Michigan winter sucks, but there's a lot of cool lakes.
Wasn't there a middle ground? What about would Arkansas, or is that real hot?
It's hot, but it's not hot like it is here. I think that would be another great one.
Wonder if that's the future.
The future is Arkansas.
Yeah,
no one has ever said that.
Crazy idea, though.
No, it's not in a tornado alley.
Right.
There's not going to be an earthquake.
Probably not going to get affected by hurricane.
There's not snow except once in a great while.
Right. I think places like that are going to see population increases, Dan. Back to you.
Well, I do own an acre in Arkansas. Do you know that?
I do know that. We haven't checked up on that in some time. Do you know about this, Blake?
No. Why?
Because Uncle Gary, who lived in Arlington for many years, that's why I went to Wet and Wild as a kid. I had a season pass. He loved golf. And so he moved to Hot Springs, Arkansas. In fact, a thing called Hot Springs Village. And he got a lot there. And it's just just a bunch of hills and perhaps dales. Not sure what a dale is, but there's hills and dales.
Is it dells or dales?
I thought it was dales.
Yeah, I don't think
Like
people
Hanson?
down here really use that word.
Hills and dales? I've just heard hills and dales. I've never heard dales on its own. But hills have been often cited on their own.
Okay, here you go. Hill and Dale.
So Hot Springs Village, if you live there, you pay whatever it's kind of like a neighborhood association fee, but you pay and you get access to, I think it's 8 golf courses are connected to it. And so he just loved golf. And so he just wanted to retire there. And my mom got real excited when he did and jumped the gun and bought a lot across the street from his lot. And she bought it for, I think, 10 grand, something like that. And it's an acre many years ago. And, then he died a couple years after that. And then Aunt Terry moved away. And now she has this lot, it's just woods. And it's in this area where all they have is lots. They didn't sell out. She thought, oh man, they're going to sell out. I better get this lot now.
She jumped the gun on Arkansas as the future.
Right.
I can't give this lot away. Literally. Like people will, because I have to pay taxes. I have to pay the fees every year. The taxes are like $10 a year.
But the
fee is like $50 a month or something.
Wow.
Dang.
And so I pay that every year. And I got to just get rid of this, I think.
I think you need to build there.
But if I get rid of it, then it's going to all of a sudden
be
explode.
The future. Yeah.
Yeah, I could build like maybe an Airbnb there or something.
If nothing else, you should get like a trailer. It wasn't me.
It's probably me. A reminder: I have to buy dishwashing soap. Are
you serious?
Yeah, we ran out, and I didn't know it. And I'm the guy who washes dishes. So last night, I just had to use the actual dishwasher. I've stopped using the dishwasher because I wash the dishes so well every night anyway. My wife is like, "Why do you do that?" And then you run the dishwasher. And I said, "That's a good point. I'll just use the dishwasher as a drying rack." And so I don't even run the dishwasher anymore.
Okay, I'm glad you brought this up because I wasn't going to say anything, but when I walked in the other morning and your dishwasher was just open, I was really put off.
Yeah, that's how I dry the dishes.
And that's fine. But like it kind of gave me the appearance of like you ran the dishwasher, grabbed a cup and just left it open, and I was frankly disgusted.
Well, don't you have one of these new dishwashers where it doesn't dry?
Mine dries. It just takes like 5 hours, as we've talked about before. Like
Okay, well, you have to open ours and let it air dry anyway.
Okay, well,
but
I just thought it was gross.
But nowadays, that's my new bit for about the last 2 to 3 weeks.
That's totally fine.
I just wash the dishes every night by hand because I used to do it that vigorously.
Yeah.
And then run the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, "Are you wasting water?" And I thought,
for sure,
you know what, I am.
Yeah.
Why don't I just run? Because I enjoy washing the dishes.
But don't you think that's like a college move to just be like, I'm going to get a cup out of the dishwasher and you just leave the down and you're like, well, I would look at my roommates like, what?
It's kind of like
fold it back up.
You just leave your clothes in the dryer and grab a pair of underwear out of there, grab some shorts and a shirt, and you're done. And leave all the stuff in the dryer. You'll just grab some stuff tomorrow.
I mean, what sort of functional adult? Can't think of any off the top of my head would live like that.
What do you mean?
Other than like, I don't know, the one I live with.
Oh, does your wife do that?
100%. 100%.
She'll just.
Are you just going to live out of the dryer? Disgusting.
But yeah, so I own this lot, and
I think you need to build.
It's in the future. It's in Arkansas.
It's not quite Colorado.
But yeah, if every year, maybe it's $35 a month. The point is, it's like $300 a year I spend. And now, my mom just signed it over to me because she didn't want to pay it anymore. And I'm like, oh, cool, I have land. And then I called there, and yes, I can't sell it. They will accept it back as a donation. So if I give
to a church or something,
I could give it to Hot Springs Village.
Yeah, don't do that.
As a donation.
Do not do that. We need to build a studio.
Dude, let's have our studio there. It'll never be interrupted by a hurricane.
That's right. All right, anyways, there's your news.
Oh, and that is us heading into the weekend.
That was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
The Dumb Zone.
I'm not complaining.
Like and subscribe.
That was good news. Hey, Blake, let us know if on Monday your wife thinks you feel a little warm.
You know, I'm not going to let you convince me I did the wrong thing today. I'm just not.
No, you're fine.
Adios, mofo.